Hello, it's Chris from ePianos here. If you're trying to decide between the Yamaha P45 and P125, then this video is for you. Take a look at the ePianos website for the latest deals and offers on Yamaha digital pianos and keyboards, or grab yourself a bargain from our huge pre-owned selection. So before I get into the details, just have a listen to this. I've got both pianos set to the same volume. So P125 to my ears, and hopefully to your ears, certainly to everyone's ears who comes in for a demonstration of these pianos, it sounds so much more alive, so much more realistic. I'm going to explain why now. So the first thing I should say, and you've probably noticed this yourself, is that there are many things that are the same on these two pianos. They're the same amount of keys, 88 keys, same as a traditional piano. They're more or less the same dimensions, and they look pretty similar as well. But the P125 is approximately £200 more expensive. Now, what do you get for that extra £200? Is it worth it? That's what I'm going to try and explain to you today. So the first major difference between these two pianos is in the tone generation. Now, what does tone generation mean? When I play a note on one of these, what we're hearing is a recorded sample from a real concert grand piano that Yamaha have made. They make some of the best in the world, by the way. And the technology used to transfer that into a digital piano is moving on very quickly. P45 is getting left behind a little bit now, and it uses what's called an AWM, Advanced Wave Memory technology. The P125 has the pure CF sampling on it. This is a much more up-to-date technology, and so basically that's how they transfer the sound from the real piano into these, is much more modern, much more up-to-date on P125. The second thing is the maximum polyphony number. Now, what does that mean? It's basically the amount of samples that can be produced at the same time. P45 is only 64, P125 is a whopping 192. Now, what does this mean to your average player? Well, it's worth knowing that the polyphony is not the amount of notes you can play. You've only got 10 fingers, I can only play 10 notes. Well, each time you play a single note on this, you trigger several samples, and you never ever want to get near hitting the maximum polyphony number. Now, 64 is okay, but 192, of course, is much higher, much more akin to the type of polyphony number that you'll get on the premium range of Yamaha digital pianos. So P125 is the big winner there. The next big difference between these two is the speaker and the amplifier setup. On P45 we only have 6-watt amplifiers, 2 of them, and we have also 2 12cm speakers. But going on to P125 we have 2 7-watt amplifiers. We have the same 12cm speakers on each side, but then we have an additional couple of 4cm speakers on either side, and that is what gives it that wonderful glassy trebly effect up there on the top end, and in comparison it makes P45 sound quite muddy and quite one-dimensional. Now, when it comes to recording, this is a really important thing for beginners and advanced players alike. It is simply not possible on P45. There's no recording function in there. P125 has an excellent recording function where you can record 2 layers on top of each other, save the recording on board, and then transfer it off as well if you want to. Okay, so you may have noticed that we have a little iPhone set up over the P125 here, and this is because there is a functionality that lifts the P125 way above P45, and it's to do with what Yamaha call their Smart Pianist app. Very careful how you say that. It is not just a controller app that swaps between the sounds, although you can do that if you want to. It also allows you to play your iTunes collection through the speakers of the keyboard, play along with it, and even further than that, it will show you the chords to that music on the screen as well. So that is even that alone is a fantastic feature to have. For gigging musicians, you can save your sounds and settings that you've customized into what we call registrations in here. So when you get to a gig, you can just load it up and have it exactly as you set it up when you're at home. And it integrates with the recording feature on here as well. You can do it all through the phone. You can take recordings and then share it online as well as either a MIDI or a audio file. So that's the Smart Pianist app from Yamaha, and for me it just lifts it way above the P45 in terms of functionality, how you engage with the piano. It just makes the whole experience much more fun as well. So look out for a more in-depth video from us on this soon. So those were the really big differences in my opinion. There are many other things as well in the details that are different, starting with the amount of voices that we have on these two pianos. P45 only has 10 voices, and by the way, when I say voices, I don't mean voices, I just mean different sounds that it makes. P125 gives us over double. We've got 24 different voices on here, including 4 different variations of the piano. There's only 2 variations of the piano on P45. Now, if you're a gigging musician, then you'd be disappointed to find out that P45 does not have a dedicated jack output, so you couldn't put it into a PA successfully. P125 does have the dedicated jack output, and it's stereo as well. You've got 2 outputs there, all the left and right in one mono if you want to. So some other common keyboard features are present on these pianos. For example, dual function is available on both. This is where you play 2 voices over the whole length, layered on top of each other. Duo as well, where you can effectively have 2 middle Cs. Good for people that are learning to play, that is, with a teacher. That is present also on P125, along with the split function where you can play 1 sound on the left and 1 sound on the right. And also another good thing for gigging musicians is this thing here called Sound Boost. And if you're familiar with playing a piano in a group, you often find that it gets lost in the mix of the band. But when you have the sound boost on, what it does is it just gives the middle and the treble a bit of a lift and takes away some of the bass. So it's a really nice, thoughtful feature from Yamaha and very useful for gigging musicians. And what about pedals with these 2 pianos? Well, they both come with sustain pedals in the box, the little square ones. But it's worth knowing that there is no additional pedal unit you can get for P45, whereas P125 will allow you to put on a wooden stand and also a separate 3 pedal unit as well, so you can actually turn it into something that looks like quite a nice small compact piano in your sitting room. And colour options as well. P45 is only available in black, but P125 you can get in black or white. So in summary, 2 pianos look very similar, have many features that are the same, but P125 for not a great deal more actually gives us a much richer, more realistic sound, more functionality, and of course with the app as well, it makes it generally much more fun to play with too. So I hope that was useful to you. If you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comment section below or send us an email. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.